So now I'm going to talk a little bit about domain crawlers, expired domain crawlers specifically. These are basically tools that help you crawl, that basically crawl the web and are always looking out for these expired domains. They've got their own logic behind it, and if you really want to understand how they work, or the logic behind the logic that they use to find these expired domains, and I've written a really good blog post on my site, and maybe you can just read that up, but I'm not going to cover that in detail because it's not really required. Now, these expired domain crawlers are basically, they're just databases and growing databases of domains that are available, expired domains are available, and many with the metrics. Like, there are a lot of metrics that they display, which makes your life really easy. So it tells you, I mean, you can immediately see the TF, the CF, the domain authority, the domain rank, the number of backlinks coming to it. You get sort of an overall, you get a quick view of the metrics of hundreds and hundreds of domains in your niche. You can search by keyword or just general domains as such that you can go and snap up. But of course, make sure to do your further investigation. Don't just register a domain because it has high TF or CF. You need to really go in there and do the homework, the backend homework, which I'm going to talk about later on in the course through with my look over the shoulder sort of walkthroughs. So these expired domain crawlers could be third-party SaaS, software as a service model, where you can go in there and you pay a monthly fee. Like PBNLab is really popular. Domain Ronnin is another popular one. So you can pay about, I think it starts at about maybe $30 or so a month, and you get limited number of crawl credits for each of them. And they go about, looking for third party, they go about looking for expired domains for you based on the keyword you enter and some metrics. A lot of them already have a ready-made database, so they could like just crawl that and pull things out from there, or they can do a fresh crawl in Google and using the logic that I mentioned in that post of mine. If you want to really know how they work behind the scenes, you can go and read that post. And then there's so these are like web-based crawlers which you pay a monthly fee for. And then there's Domain Hunter Gatherer, which is, I highly recommend it for power users. Like if you want to be setting up a business of buying and selling expired domains, then I highly recommend this tool. Or if you're going to be doing a ton of crawling and ton of buying expired domains, I highly recommend Domain Hunter Gatherer. It's really powerful, and it's a desktop tool. You can set up a VPS and install it on the VPS with proxies to run your crawls and pull out some nifty information based on the keywords that you specify. And then there's SERPDrive, and then there's Domain Reanimator. Lazurus Crawler is another desktop tool, although I've not used it I've not used it much. So you could just look up the reviews and see how good that is. It's not as expensive as Domain Hunter Gatherer, which is really expensive. It's a premium crawler. They do have a lifetime coupon, and they have month-to-month coupon payment plans also. If you want a discount for that, just go ahead and drop me a note. I'll see what I can do for you and try and get you a good deal for Domain Hunter Gatherer. And of course, there was Expired Domain Miner. This tool has been decommissioned. It's not available anymore, but it used to be really good, but it was very basic. And the last is this, you can use Scrapebox also. It's got an expired domain crawler module, or it's got its own crawler module in conjunction with Xenu Link Sleuth. But this is for power users, and if you can't really afford anything else and you want to get into the nitty-gritties, this would be the cheapest way to do it, because Xenu is free and Scrapebox is about, I think it's $50, but you'll need to learn how to use these. But you can use these in conjunction and then use another third-party metric checker, so you can scrape all the expired domains for your specific keywords using these two tools, and then you can plug in all the domains into another third-party metric checker, and then it could spit back your TF, your CF values, your DR values, and things like that. So then that gives you a good starting point of eliminating domains that have bad metrics, and you can only spend your time on the domains that have good metrics, because you have to analyze each expired domain manually. There's no other way to do it. Sure, you get the initial look, you get the initial metrics, but that will give you good elimination points. I'll actually run through this process in detail, because this is one of the most important aspects of your PBN. You need to use the right domains and acquire the right domains. Otherwise, you're not going to be getting much power. And then, of course, if you have the inclination and if you have the time and you don't have the budget to buy any of these other tools, which I highly recommend, or you want to go into the theory of how it works, you can use Scrapebox, which is about, I think it costs about $50, and Xenu Sleuth, which is a free tool. You can use both of these in conjunction, and you can and with proxies, a large number of proxies, and then you can scrape Google for your keywords, and then Scrapebox also has an internal expired domain module within it, so you can use that with Xenu Sleuth to find out which the expired domains are for your specific keyword searches. But this is a manual process, and it does take time. And if you want to know how this is done exactly, I've got a post on my site in which I explain everything in detail, and you can go through that. By all means, if you have the time and you really want to get into the nitty-gritties of this, go ahead and do that. It's a good learning. It's a steep learning curve. You need to practice it a lot. It'll take a lot of setup time. You'll need a VPS server. You'll need a lot of proxies, but it's an eye opener on how these other crawlers actually work. Okay, so you also need to understand that these crawlers, they crawl the web for live. I mean, some of them have a predefined database of expired domains as other people enter their keywords that they're looking for, but most of them go out and do fresh crawls of using Google and other methods for keywords that you're interested in, for your niche specific keywords, for looking for expired domains that are related to those keywords. So that's how these expired domains work. It's important to understand they may have a large set of, yes, they will have a large set of database, because if I punch in a specific keyword or a whole set of keywords, they'll definitely store the expired domains that they find from some customers, into their master database. And but you get a chance to analyze the domain in first and see whether you want to register it or not. But these are crawlers, right? So they crawl the web based on the keywords that you want for your niche specific keywords. These are not like there are other large domain databases. These are not that, and I'm going to talk about that next.